Well, are we hearing a lot of common sense from Nigel Farage this morning and Zia Yusuf, of course, of Reform UK? They've had a press conference this morning, which they've announced a major change to migration policy. You remember that Boriswave, 1.2 million arrivals in just 1 year. Well, in total, 3.8 million arriving. And in the next year, 800,000 of those, lots of numbers there, but 800,000 of those would be entitled to apply for indefinite leave to remain. Now, the Tories have said they want you to wait a full 10 years to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain, but of course they won't be in power in the next few years. Nigel Farage has said, no, we're going to get rid of indefinite leave to remain entirely, and we're going to raise the threshold, the salary that you have to earn and your English language skills. And frankly, if you ain't earning enough every 5 years, we're going to ask you to leave. Well, let's talk about all this with Robert Bates. He's Research Director at the Centre for Migration Control. A very good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning, Julia.
Thanks so much for this. What do you make of what he's had to say so far?
I think what has been set out today is an extremely encouraging development in the debate. Indefinite leave to remain is a ridiculous situation. It was a legal status created in the 1980s when we had much, much smaller levels of inward migration than we have seen in recent years.
Yeah, but a few tens of thousands max a year, yeah.
And occasionally net negative as well, so more people leaving than were coming in. So it was a situation of a bygone era that we are no longer in. And when you look at the fact that we've already got over 1 million foreign nationals, people that aren't even citizens of our country, claiming universal credit costing us billions every year, and you look at what we've got coming down the pipeline, we've got, you know, the millions that entered under the Boris Johnson wave, who will soon be claiming as well the 800,000. As you said, it's very important that we address this ticking time bomb as quickly as possible, and we don't just take it out of the reach of those that have arrived in recent years. But we also look to review some of those cases that have received it in recent years as well.
Well, I wonder how difficult that's going to be legally. I mean, it's one thing saying, you know, in the next few years you can't do it, and I wonder where Labour are going to be on this one, because again, this is a massive cost. You're talking about a lot of people who've come over. They're not all multi-millionaires. They're not all entrepreneurs. They're not all top-skilled people earning high-flight wages. A lot of those people would have been people initially on a care visa because it was an easy way of getting in. And even if they're working as a carer, they're earning well below the threshold currently of being a net contributor. And those people almost immediately become able to claim benefits, you know, credits and housing benefit and all the rest of it, and getting free NHS care and all of that. And the reality is these people are economically a drain on our society.
That's absolutely right. And when you look at last year alone, the last 12 months, just 7% of those that came in to the UK on any sort of non-transit visa type were actually earning at the UK median salary or above. So we have even those that are coming to work, which again is a smaller percentage of the overall cohort arriving. Many of them are coming into low-skilled, low-wage jobs. They're pricing, of course, Brits out of the market as well, because Brits have compete with unscrupulous employers that are happy to pay low-wage labour right at the bottom of the...
And they're allowed, employers are allowed to pay lower wages for a lot of these people than they would have to pay a Brit, extraordinarily.
Yes, absolutely. The temporary occupation list as well is something that is a ridiculous state of affairs that has made it really very easy for employers to put off any of the necessary investment that we actually need to see in the economy as a whole. We've got really stagnant productivity growth in this country, and a large part of that is because employers have just been able to pull that lever and access labour from outside the European Union very cheaply. And as a result, we've got, you know, situations where millions of Brits are economically inactive or unemployed as well. So this is something that really can't go on. I really think the proposals here, scrapping indefinite leave to remain, is an absolute essential.
It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, I think a lot of people are voting. I think they weren't really aware of this, and certainly not on the scale on which people are allowed to come to this country, and then they basically get a right to stay here forever. They could give up their job the next day, and then we're paying for them.
Yeah, and I don't really think, you know, 5 years, they often say basically indefinite leave to remain is a status given to sort of make life easier for the migrant rather than to improve the lot of the British public. It's effectively us saying thank you for all the hard work that you've put in over the last 5 years and all the money that you've paid into the economy. But that clearly isn't the case in a very large percentage of individuals that have arrived in recent years. So I think what this measure really is about restoring some kind of justice as to how the benefit system works for Brits, how the housing system works for Brits, how the job market works for Brits as well. So this is definitely a step in the right direction.
He's going to come up against the law. He's also going to come up against certainly big business who've been reliant for far too many years on cheap imported labour. And they're probably going to have to pay higher wages. But this is going to have to come hand in hand with saying to the many millions of people who are of working age who are not working and who could be working or claiming they're depressed on a Monday morning, that I'm sorry, you have got to go and get a job.
Well, and that is actually really a side product of this sort of fascination we have had with propping our market up with low-skilled wages, that we've not actually invested in the British workforce. We've not tried to incentivise them. We've really been very happy for many people just to sit idle. And I think it's a really sad state of affairs because, you know, if you change the incentive structure, then actually many people that are currently in that situation of just sitting around saying, oh, I'm too tired to work today, or whatever it might be, will actually have to getting them working and actually help build a modern economy for Britain going forward.
Yeah, here's the thing though, I wonder, Robert Bates, whether actually they're going to face a lot of human rights lawyers challenging this. I'm sure they will.
Oh, almost definitely. You can already see sort of people licking their quill and starting to write out sort of proposals for when this goes into place. But this is what has to be done. This is the kind of battle that has to be fought. We have to really take on the entrenched interests that have been
absolutely. And here's the thing: people are having to reapply. That's the thing. So if these people are, as we've been told by the left and by the Ramonas and everyone else all these years, if they are net contributors, it won't be an issue, will it? It's only if actually what they've been telling us for all these years is a lie that it will be. But there we are, Robert Bates from the Centre for Migration Control. Thank you very much.